Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you, Mr. President. And let me just thank the Islamic Society of North America giving me this honor to speak on your, I believe, the 56th convention. I believe that this is a great platform, a platform through which we can raise the awareness of Islam amongst the most powerful country in the world, which is United States. And I think it's very important, and ISNA can play a great role. So I will talk about three aspects today. And in all three, I would like ISNA to play its part in spreading awareness. Number one, I do not believe that the Western society understands the love, affection, reverence we have for our Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And because they do not understand this, we have surprise in the Western societies when any person mocks or ridicules our Holy Prophet, and they see this reaction amongst the Muslims. They don't understand it because they do not view religion like we do. I have spent a lot of my time in England because I studied there and played professional cricket there. And I know that they do not view religion like we do. The way they talk about religion, the way they talk about even Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, they don't understand how Muslims love and respect their Prophet. He feels about the Holocaust. The Jewish community has made the world realize the sensitivity they have towards the way people talk about the Holocaust, and understandably, because it gives them pain. Similarly, the Muslim community must make them realize in the Western countries that how much it affects us when our Prophet is ridiculed, or like when Salman Rushdie, and it all started with that, when he wrote the satanic verses, mocking our Prophet. And the West could not understand the reaction. So if we sensitize them about our feelings, our love, affection for our Prophet, and this will create a better understanding that you cannot use freedom of speech. You cannot use that to hurt the sentiments of 1.3 billion people. My second point is about Islamophobia. Now, what the Western countries must realize, that there is only one Islam, and that is the Islam of Prophet, peace be upon him. Like in every human community, they are moderates, they are radicals, they are intellectuals, and they are extremes. Same in the Muslim community. But there is only one Islam. So when terms like Islamic terrorism are used, unfortunately, this creates what I believe one of the main reasons it creates Islamophobia. Because when words are used like this is a radical Muslim, or this is a Muslim extremist, or Muslim terrorist, how is the man in the street in the Western society supposed to distinguish between what is a moderate Muslim and what is a radical Muslim? So the whole Muslim community gets tainted by that. And so every Muslim becomes suspect. And then you have people like the gunman who walks into a mosque and shoots Muslims because he can't distinguish. He feels that all Muslims are terrorists. We must work at this. We have to de-link terrorism with Islam. Terrorism has nothing to do with Islam or any other religion. Suicide attacks have been blamed on Islam for some this myth that Muslims blow themselves up because they'll go to heavens and they'll have this virgins, this whole bit. The Hindu Tamil Tigers before 9/11 were responsible for 70% of suicide attacks. But no one blamed Hinduism for it. Before that, the Japanese kamikaze pilots, they did suicide attacks, but no one blamed their religion. So terrorism has nothing to do with religion. It has to be delinked. Terrorism, the roots of terrorism lie in politics. Religion, all religions, the fundamental things they preach are compassion and justice. All religions. And we have to make people understand the difference between human societies, what religions say, and how human societies are. So if we concentrate on the worst, on the extremes of a human society, when I first went to England, there were these people called the skinheads. They would beat up people because of the color of their skin. So imagine if I went back and looked at society from the prism of what the skinheads did. Similarly, if what has happened since 9/11, any terrorism is related to Islam now. And this has done two things. One, it has created Islamophobia. What I'm talking about, these gunmen, Muslims being targeted. But secondly, it has delegitimized Muslim freedom struggles. So for instance, in Kashmir, after 9/11, the Indian government could suppress the people by using the word Islamic terrorism. And if the word Islamic terrorism came about, all worries about human rights, about justice, disappeared. People in the Western countries, the moment a movement was labeled Islamic radicals or terrorism, that was it. The whole Western world would have cast a blind eye on it. They wouldn't talk about it. And so Muslims were crushed by governments using the word Islamic terrorism. My third thing, and this is probably the most serious thing which is confronting Muslims right now, and I'm talking about almost 200 million Muslims of India. You see, I also know Indian society. I have, through cricket, I have had love and affection in India. I know India, a lot of friendships in India. But what has happened in India right now needs to be told to the Western world. I'm trying my best. But from Islam's platform, you have to make a concerted effort to make people understand this phenomena which has taken over India. You have to make the Western societies understand RSS. RSS was created in 1925. RSS was inspired by the Nazi Party, by Hitler, by Mussolini. It was a fascist ideology which believed in Hindu supremacy. It believed in Hindu supremacy and at the same time was filled with hatred of Muslims. They blamed the centuries of Muslim rule in India for why the Hindu civilization couldn't reach its peak. It believed, as I said, in the racial supremacy of the Hindu civilization. It believed in ethnic cleansing of Muslims from India. It believed that India was only for Hindus. And this, if you read what the founding fathers of the RSS movement said, like Golwalkar, in this day and age, it is extremely easy for all of you to Google it. Just Google and find out the origins of RSS. Who were their founding fathers? Who were the role models of the founding fathers? What was their philosophy? And this hateful philosophy was the reason why Gandhi was assassinated after independence. They believed he was too soft on India, on Muslims. Why Pakistan was created? The founder of Pakistan, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The reason why he believed that Muslims would not get equal rights to citizenship in India was because he saw this ideology. It was Jinnah who was the first one who strived, and remember, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was considered an ambassador for Hindu-Muslim unity. He was above communalism. But when he saw that what this ideology was heading towards, he was the one who warned Muslims that the Hindus were wanting independence only for Hindus. The India they pictured was only for Hindus, and Muslims would be a second-class citizen. And I'm afraid that is what has happened in India. After recently this year, the elections won by the BJP, they have come back as a stronger force. And what the BJP philosophy is, I need to make you understand, because I believe that this is not something like Milosevic, Serbs and ethnic cleansing of Muslims in Bosnia. We are talking about 1 billion, a country of over 1 billion people with nuclear weapons, taken over by an extreme philosophy, ideology. What the Nazi party proved was that a small, highly organized, ideologically motivated group could actually take over the whole country. That is what has happened in India. An extreme ideology has taken over India. They do not consider minorities, and especially Muslims, as equals. Worse, this ideology was responsible for the massacre in Gujarat of Muslims. This ideology is responsible for lynching of Muslims, simply on a thing like acquisition of cow meat or cow slaughter. Right now in Assam, 1.9 million Muslims are about to be, their citizenship is about to be taken away. And it is this ideology that has put almost 9 million Muslims under curfew for 26 days in Kashmir. What this Narendra Modi government has done, when it annexed Kashmir, Kashmir was a disputed territory where the United Nations resolution had given the Kashmiris their right to decide their own destiny through a referendum. That right was never given. But the UN resolution still stands, means that it was a disputed territory. The BJP government has annexed it. It's annulled its own constitution, Article 370, which gave the Kashmiris a special status. It's also annulled Article 335A of their constitution, which meant that you could not change the demography of Kashmir. But the BJP government's stated aim is that they want to change the demography, change a Muslim majority province into a Muslim minority province by bringing in settlers to come in and change the demography. This is a violation of the 4th Geneva Convention, Article 49. You cannot change the demography of an occupied land. But worse than that, they have cast aside the Supreme Court of India's judgment. The Jammu and Kashmir High Court judgment. What was promised to the people of Kashmir by Jawaharlal Nehru, their founding father? And again, I repeat, it's 26 days the people of Kashmir are under curfew. They have shut out all media, all internet, no news is coming out of there. We believe that what is happening in Kashmir is that RSS goons have been let loose amongst the population. We believe people are being picked up. What reports are coming out? Boys are they go into houses and pick up boys. 8,000 people so far have been put in prison. 4,000 people have been taken out of Kashmir. All their leaders have been put under arrest. Even the opposition leaders were not allowed to go inside Kashmir to see what is happening there. And that is what I want ISNA to do. Raise awareness. In the 21st century, this is happening. And this is happening, an ideology which openly states that they want to change the demography of the people of Kashmir, which openly states that the Muslims do not have the same rights in India as the Hindus. They have completely cast aside the secularism of Nehru and Gandhi. And I'm afraid this ideology is not going to stop here. I think they have let out of a genie out of a bottle. It's not going to go back in. This genie of hate, of Hindu supremacy. It's not just the Muslims who are going to be a threat. And I'm again, almost 200 million Muslims in India. What is going to happen to their future? It's also going to go after Christians. Already there have been attacks on the Christian churches. Christians have been tried to reconvert it into Hinduism. Dalits are not going to be spared. Soon Sikhs, the Sikh community, even they will suffer after a while. Even the Indians who do not agree with this ideology. The whole, as I repeat, the secular India concept, the plural India concept, everything is at threat. And Pakistan, we fear in Pakistan that we are not dealing with a rational government in India. As I repeat, an extreme ideology has taken over India. We believe, like it happened in February, when Indian soldiers were killed because a young 20-year-old boy got radicalized by the security forces. And remember, there are 900,000 security forces right now in Kashmir. 900,000. The human rights violations have been mentioned by the United Nations for the first time. So when a boy blew himself up, India blamed Pakistan. We immediately asked them, we said, if you give us any proofs that Pakistan was involved, we will take action. They sent us a dossier. But before the dossier arrived, they had sent their jets into Pakistan to bomb us. We feel that India will do this again to divert attention from what we fear will be bloodshed in Kashmir in order to oppress the people, subdue the people, kill their hunger for freedom, ethnically cleanse them, or change the demography. We believe that the sort of oppression they will do in Kashmir and already are doing, they will need to divert the world attention to Pakistan. And we believe that as they did in February, they will do some sort of an action, an attack in Pakistan. But now we're talking about two nuclear-armed countries face to face. So the consequences, this is no longer something like Rwanda or like Bosnia. We are talking, again, I repeat, 1 billion people, a country of 1 billion people with nuclear arms, with a mad ideology facing Pakistan. What will happen once this, if a similar sort of attack happens, Pakistan will retaliate? We, again, I repeat, and two nuclear armed countries face to face. That is why it is important for ISNA to play its role. I have asked the OICU to play its role. I'm going to raise this in the United Nations General Assembly. But you, as the largest Muslim body in North America, has a very important responsibility. You must make people aware of what is going on in India. This image of India so far of a land of peace, a land of gurus, of karma, a land where, of plural secular values, it is no longer that India anymore. The previous Home Minister of India, which was the Congress Home Minister, his public statement that in the RSS camps, terrorists are being trained. There are 4 million members of RSS. They are very similar to the Hitler brown shirts who went around terrorizing people. Judges, media, opposition, minorities. This is what is happening in India right now. Any opposition to this RSS ideology is squashed. So therefore, in conclusion, after repeating what I feel is your role, I would also like you to tell the world, what is the difference? I keep telling the world, what is the difference? In Medina, Riyasat, what was the sunnat of their holy prophet? How did the prophet treat the minorities? There was the constitution of Medina. There was the written covenant with St. Catherine's Church, which I believe still exists, where the prophet said that we will protect your places of worship till the day of judgment. The Holy Quran saying there's no coercion in religion. You can't force people into religion. We have a responsibility in the Quran to respect sacred entities of other religions. The famous incident of Hazrat Ali as Khalifa, as the head of state of Medina, he loses a case against a Jewish citizen. The court did not accept the testimony of apparently the son of Hazrat Ali. Even now you cannot picture this in the Western society where a minority wins a case against the head of state. But that shows that the status of minorities was equal. They were equal citizens, equal rights. And what is happening in India is the opposite. There was a case of Imran Khan, this Muslim, apparently they accused him that he was transporting cattle. He was murdered, lynched in the middle of the city, in front of everyone. The court just let off all the 6 people who were responsible, who everyone saw killing this man. This is what is happening in India right now. Even the courts are scared to give judgment against this RSS ideology. Hence, I conclude, the responsibility of ISNA is great. You should raise this awareness. You should raise your voices. You should approach your members of Congress, senators, make them understand what's happening. Meanwhile, I'm trying my best, as I've spoken to the head of states of Muslim countries. I made them understand that what we are dealing, I repeat, is an ideology. You can't reason with this. In India, and I repeat, India is at threat. All the people, intellectuals who oppose this, and I know India. People in India who are intelligent, educated, who believed in the Gandhi and Nehru secular values, do not agree with it. But there's an atmosphere of fear in India, especially after BJP won its second election. I again thank you very much for giving me this platform. I feel it's a great honor, and I wish that ISNA goes and plays its role of spreading awareness, making people understand Islam, and then try to de-link all this. I'm sad to say that Majority of the people do not understand Islam in the West, but there's a tiny minority which deliberately tries to portray Islam in this light, linking it with terrorism. And I do hope that you will, and I believe you will be able to eventually make people understand what is Islam and all the propaganda against it. Thank you very much.